When I started with lenses, I think I would say, oh, it's really complicated. I'm going to need at least 30 minutes to explain it to you. What I've learned over time is that it's really simple. The idea is about, creating more life and vitality. It's about improving things and making them better than they were when you started. It's about multiplying the benefit that you create in the world. And it's almost like a game of figuring out how can you create just expanding benefits for more and more people. So lenses can be used throughout different times in the evolution of a place or a business. I think it's difficult for humans to hold so many variables in their heads at one time, and so lenses starts to open up people's minds to seeing how complex and interrelated all of these things can be, but also gives them the framework or the playground to start exploring those ideas. The lenses framework is made up of 3 primary lenses. The first model is the foundational lens, and it has the guiding principles for sustainability.
You look at that first lens, and it's what we call our foundation lens. And the way I like to talk about that is, can we come to a common ground? When I say we, is it a community? Is it a project team? Is it a decision-making group? Can we come to common ground about guiding principles for what we're going to do?
So these are universal principles that have been represented in one way or another in most of the major works that have been done around sustainability. The second lens is the flows lens. It really is about the interconnectivity or the relationships of flows over time. By examining flows and understanding the relationships between the flows, we can better come to know the context of a place.
These layers and the fact that they move are creating some wonderful conversations, because there's some new, if you think about a flow and then you think about the materials of a building, the aspects of place, all of a sudden you have it prompts some new discussions and considerations.
For example, with water, in order to regenerate water, you may need to take water that has been depleted or compromised in some way, and it's actually improved on the other side of your project. Whereas being sustainable may just mean making the highest and best use of water. So maybe sustaining is more about being net zero water. But in my thoughts, regeneration is really about healing and about improving something. And then you start to ask yourself, well, how many things can we improve?
Bringing things together and sort of see how all these various patterns and the potential that sits in these patterns can be used to create something that you cannot see from the different aspects of it. So it is really something that emerges and then it grows on its own.
The cycle of life is always about renewal, and so you need to be able to come back and look at it with fresh eyes. So lenses can be used at many points along the way, I guess, which is kind of what gets at your question, both to vision, to plan, and to assess, and then to revision again.